Hello everyone. Today we are started a new lecture, subject environmental biotechnology. This is the index we have to cover in this lecture in Unit 1 and in Unit 2. Unit 1, environment pollution, definition, methodology, and Unit 2, solid water waste, source of management, vermicompost, methane production, treatment of wastewater, treatment primary, secondary, and the assessment of water quality and the reference जिससे हमने ये वीडियो बनाया हुआ है लाइक बुक्स एंड लिंक्स। यूनिट 1 आप सभी को पता है कि एनवायरमेंट पॉल्यूशन आज का मेजर कंटेमिनेशन सोर्स है जो हमारी ह्यूमन हेल्थ को इफेक्ट करता है, वर्ड्स को इफेक्ट करता है एंड और विद दी प्लांट्स आल्सो। प्रिंसिपल एंड स्कोप ऑफ इकोलॉजी है, यहाँ पे हम इकोलॉजी के बारे में बताते हैं। इकोलॉजी इज द इंटर रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन दी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म एंड दी environment. As the term ecology help us to understand how the different species interact with the each and their surroundings to maintain the balance of nature. इसके प्रिंसिपल में हम इंक्लूड करते हैं इंटरडिपेंडेंसी, एनर्जी फ्लो, न्यूट्रिएंट साइकिल एंड द एडेप्टेशन ऑफ द एवोल्यूशन। इंटरडिपेंडेंसी मींस कि इन्वायरमेंट एंड ह्यूमंस कैसे एक दूसरे पे इंटरडिपेंडेंट है। लाइक हम प्लांट्स के हम यानी ह्यूमन बींग्स डिपेंडेंट होते हैं plants pay as a food source, and the plants is also take CO2 and the earth environments they have to consume sunlight for the process of photosynthesis, as they have to maintain their own food. एनर्जी फ्लो इज ऑल्सो लाइक जैसे सन हमसे सन प्रोड्यूसर है जैसे प्लांट्स के लिए, देन प्लांट्स हैं कंज्यूमर्स के लिए लाइक एनिमल्स, एंड दे हैव टू डिकम्पोज बाय द बैक्टीरिया and fungus. Secondly, nutrient cycle is also a biological cycle to maintain the balance of nutrient cycle. Adaptation is also like the scope of ecology is also depend upon the autology, psychonology, population ecology, ecosystem ecology, and human ecology. They also depend each other like a ecology, meaning dependency of interdependency like of humans and environment. They also discuss same scenario with the different um, different dependencies. टाइप्स ऑफ पॉल्यूशन, एज वी नो कि हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत सारे पॉल्यूशंस हैं। एयर पॉल्यूशन, वाटर पॉल्यूशन, नॉइज पॉल्यूशन, दीज आर द डिफरेंट पॉल्यूशंस। एयर पॉल्यूशन जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं कि इंडस्ट्रीज जो हैं जो बहुत ज्यादा हायर लेवल पे अपना प्रोडक्शन चलाते हैं, जो प्लांट्स हैं, व्हीकल सोर्सेज हैं, ये हमारे एयर्स को कंटेमिनेट करते हैं। इनके जो कंटेमिनेशन सोर्स होते हैं सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड, नाइट्रो ऑक्साइड, these are the chlorofluorocarbons, these are the major gases which contaminate the environment. These are the sources, effects, and the limitation advantages of air pollution. Same as the water pollution. Water pollution, the major problem is the water which released by the factories release their wastewater to the lakes and the rivers, and this water is very harmful for the humans and insect. These are the main sources जो आपको पीडीएफ में दिख रहे हैं। ये हमारे जो सोर्सेज हैं ये हमारे वेस्ट वाटर के लिए हार्मफुल होते हैं, इफेक्ट्स होते हैं जो हमारी ह्यूमन हेल्थ पे, प्लांट हेल्थ पे एंड एवरीवेयर एनवायरनमेंट को अफेक्ट कर रहे हैं। इसके कुछ लिमिटेशंस हैं लाइक हमको क्लीन एंड जो हमारे घर से वाटर निकलते हैं उसको हम रीयूज कर सकते हैं एज अ प्लांट्स, और क्लीन वाटर टू अवर हाउस क्लीनिंग। कंट्रोल एंड प्रिवेंशन है कि हम अपने वाटर को कैसे लिमिटेशन के साथ यूज कर सकते हैं। सेकंड वन इज सॉइल पॉल्यूशन, सेम एज द pollution of air and water. These are the sources and the effect limitation of pollution. Thermopollution. Thermopollution is the main cause of major pollutant is heat or a thermal influences like plants and factories. Same like a air pollution, factories are the major cause of the pollution and the plant-based deforestation, excess of using of lights and the temperature. These are the main source of pollution. Oil pollution is also seen as the pollution. The industries which release their unwanted product to the environment it is very harmful. Oil spillage, leakage, industrialization, ruin of accidents. Major pollutants are the crude and refined oil, petroleum problems, benzene, and xylem. These are the major cause of the air pollution, and some metals is also involved in the um oil pollution, like lead, nickel, and the chemical dispensers and the cleanup operations. Effect of oil pollution जो हमारे ह्यूमन हेल्थ पे भी इफेक्ट करते हैं, एनवायरमेंट को भी इफेक्ट करते हैं, मरीन लाइफ पे भी करते हैं। जैसे कि मैंने बताया आपको कि ये मरीन लाइफ में जो हमारे ऑयल वेस्ट है वो रिलीज करते हैं समंदर्स में, वहां पे हमारे बहुत सारे फिशरीज होती हैं, फिशेस होती हैं, मैमल्स होते हैं, जिनको ये उनकी बॉडी पे स्टक होके उनको इफेक्ट करता है, and it is harmful for them, and that causes the death also. एडवांटेजेस है इसके रिलेवेंट है कि ये बायोडिग्रेडेशन में, बैक्टीरियल के यूज में, बायोरेमेडिएशन में काम आ सकता है एज अ रिसर्च पर्पस। बट द मेजर कॉजेज इज डिसएडवांटेजेस जो कि हमारे ह्यूमन हेल्थ, प्लांट हेल्थ एंड मरीन लाइफ सबको बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लमेटिक सिचुएशन में डाल देते हैं, और इससे डैमेज होता है, एंड मरीन लाइफ इज ऑल्सो डैमेज दैट कॉज डेथ ऑल्सो। Method method of measurement of pollutions. These are the methods which we have to use to measure the pollution. It includes the turbidity, temperature and pH, electroconductivity. Chemical parameters is like the chemicals like dissolve oxygen, biochemical oxygen demands, जिसको हम BOD भी बोलते हैं, chemical oxidation demand, COD, nitrate, phosphate, sulfate. These are the heavy metals which we have to use. And next is the measurement of soil pollution. How we have to measure the soil pollution? These are the relevant parameters given to the PPT. You have to study, like methods is like pH and conductivity test, organic matters, heavy metals, pesticides, and the nutrients. Nutrients like sodium, potassium, and the next is noise pollution. These are also similar as this for soil pollution. Next is date. Next is the methodology of environment management and problems. How we have to limited and approach solving the problem approach of these problems. These are the major problems. We have to maintain this uh, very muchly like problem solving. We have to uh, go for the steps and steps आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम। सबसे पहले हमको प्रॉब्लम को एनालाइज करना चाहिए, फिर उसका एनालिसिस कॉज देखना चाहिए कि किस वजह से हो रहा है। उसको फिर हमको रोकने के लिए जो भी हमारा मॉनिटरिंग एवल्यूशन है, इम्प्लांटेशन ऑफ प्लान्स है, क्लीनिंग मॉनिटरिंग है, फीडबैक से कंटिन्यूअसली इम्प्रूवमेंट करने की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है। टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स यूज्ड from problem solve approach. These are the things you have to do, and advantages of problem solving. Next, the second unit is solid and water waste. In this, we have to study the how the solid and water waste pollute the environment. Solid and water waste is referred as the non-liquid, non-gaseous material that are described and unwanted for human health, animal, and the industries. According to the U.S. Environment Protection Agency, solid water waste includes garbage, refuse, uh, sewage, and other discard materials, free bounded households, industrial, and the agriculture activity. Major source of solid water waste is domestic and municipal waste, industrial waste, agriculture waste, biomedical waste, and the e-water waste. These are the major cause which is released to the environment and waste the water activities through the release to the water and pollute the water which we have to use and as a purpose of drinking and other sources. Wastewater definition is defined as the liquid waste refers and contaminate the water by the industrial, domestic and agriculture activities. Sources like वही जो हमने पहले पढ़े थे, domestic, industrial, agriculture and somatic. The management of wastewater भी है. The main stages of wastewater management is collect and segregate the transfer, and the second is transportation, the professing and the processing and the treatment. Composting. Collection of composting is a biological practices of decomposing the organic materials such as kitchen waste. This process is including the collection of segregation and the preparation of composting and the microbial deposition. These are the types of curing and maturation. Types of composting: the aerobic composting, anaerobic composting, and vermicomposting. Aerobic composting, as you know, the aerobic means the air is involved in this process. Anaerobic, without the air, and vermicomposting use the manures or the worms. Advantages, as you have to see in the PPT, these are the major advantages. Vermicomposting is the manure which we have to use with the environments from the microbes. We have to use microbes in this process. These are the limitation and advantages. Methane production, these are the biogas generation. These are the um, in this PPT, you have to see the whole process, advantage and limitation. Importance of waste management is like protect the human health, environment, conservation of the natural resources, and promote the suitable agriculture. Second was is the treatment of wastewater like primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary source. The major source of the domestic and industrial agriculture sources. Object is just to remove the unorganic or unwanted matter to clean the water, which is very good for the human health and the other plants and other living organisms. Stages of wastewater treatment is include the primary, secondary, and the tertiary treatment. Primary treatment is the first stage of the cleaning treatment. It includes uh, physical processes like the removal of large uh, floating materials uh, from the water. And secondary is the filtration process, which we have to use with the major chemicals and the filtration methods. This includes the activating of stage processes, the tickling of filtration, oxidation of bonds, is an anaerobic digestion. Outcome is just remove of to 85 to 95% of BOD suspensions of the solids. Production, it produces biological slages which can be treated of used by the fertilizers. Territory treatment is a very advanced and the chemical and physical processes. This is the final polishing stage of the water. It includes the chemicals like so that the water is just clean and good for the human health. In this process, we have to remove the remaining nutrients which is not good for the human, like nitrogen, dissolved solids, heavy metals, and the pathogens. Main process is the Main process includes the chemical coagulation, filtration, and activated the carbon adsorption, disinfection, and the iron exchange or the reverse osmosis. Outcome is just a high and purified water suitable for the reuse, industries, and irrigations. Like we have to discuss everything in detail. This is the short form of everything we have to discuss. Secondly, these are the references which I have to use to make my PPT. Thank you so much for listening.